Welcome to the Sunday morning simulcast with Rom Wills. Learn the lessons of life. Learn the lessons of life. This is very important. Going through life, it's a classroom. It really is. It really is a classroom. It's not something we just meandering through. Every single encounter we have with a person, every single situation, every single trial and tribulation is a lesson. Even our victories are a lesson. Now, the trials and tribulations being a lesson, that's more obvious. But you know what? Sometimes victories are lessons. Maybe how to win with grace. Maybe learning how to appreciate something. There's always a lesson there. And especially in relationships. I remember a minister telling me relationships are a way for people to grow. You know, think about the situations we have in relationships. Jealousy, sadness, just so many emotions. But what is the thing that we're learning? We're learning how to deal with those emotions. We learn how to deal with loss. How many people have learned something from the breakup of a relationship? Think about it. How often have we broke up from someone, but we learned a lesson and we became better? Or unfortunately, we didn't learn the lesson and things got worse. See, I'm going to tell you something. When we're going through life, when we experience something, I always say it's a learning experience. It's not a bad thing. What did you learn from it? Like, for example, if you're in business and you fail in business, does this mean you're a failure in life? No, it's a lesson. Many people have failed at something, learned the lesson, and then moved on to something greater. They applied the lesson. They applied the situation. And that's the thing. We're not, going through life, we're not supposed to just stay the same. Every single moment, you're either growing or you're contracting. And when I say contracting, I was going to say dying. I ain't like the term. But when I say contracting, say, for example, you're lifting weights or something. And you constantly improving. You're starting out with a little bit and then you go to a whole lot. Contracting is simply when you start out at a certain point, but you're going backwards. How many people have reached a point in life where it seems like they're just successful, but then they have a series of setbacks and they just keep going in that negative direction? I've seen that a lot. You know what? My main thing, even though people know me for talking about relationships, my main thing is just overall success in life. And I've seen many people reach a peak at a young age, but don't go forward. I'm gonna tell you something now. Don't get into like, oh, you're getting old and all of that. No. People can peak all of their lives. In some cases, even physically. I'll use myself for an example. I'm actually physically stronger now than I was 30 years ago. So there's no even a physical excuse. You can always get better. You can always make yourself well. You can always become smarter. You can always gain knowledge. I always use, whenever I talk about that part, I've said, you know what, I can't explain quantum physics in Mandarin. That means I have a whole lot to learn. That means all of us, there's always something we could do to go forward. And that's one of the things in life, period, to help us go forward. You know, every single person, regardless of your spiritual path, you need to think to yourself, I want to be a better person tomorrow than I was yesterday, and tomorrow an even better person. Unfortunately, many people don't. Unfortunately, people don't learn the lessons, because one of the things I found with lessons in life, if you fail it the first time, it's coming back, and it's coming back hard. It's coming back hard. I've seen that numerous occasions over the decades. Something would happen to a person. Like a lot of times it's in a relationship. They'll get a certain type of person that's just bad for them, even as far as toxic for them. And instead of learning the lesson in that toxic relationship, the main one being don't mess with someone toxic, they don't learn the lesson. So maybe a year later, they get the exact same person. And this person's worse. Still don't learn the lesson. Then someone's even worse. Then they get to a point. It's like one of those things. A mentor told me this. Another minister told me this. You'll get the lesson. It'll come kind of soft at first. See if you pick up on it. If you don't get it, come a little bit harder. At some point, it's going to smack you in the face. You know, it's like getting hit with a brick. You don't learn the lesson on how to avoid that brick. At some point, you get a whole wall falls on you. And that's the thing. That's the thing. You have to learn those lessons. Every single thing that happens to you, good and bad, pay attention. What's the lesson there? What's the lesson there? And as I said earlier, even the good things, you might have to learn how to win with grace. You might have to learn how to win even better. You might have to learn how to appreciate how you won. You might have to have a certain sense of modesty in how you won. Like, let me use that for an example. Sometimes people win all the time and seem like they have everything going for them. Like, you see that person and you know what? They have what people consensusly consider physically attractive. They can have all the money. They were born into the right family, circumstances. And someone will say, well, what lesson they have to learn? Maybe the lesson they have to learn there is appreciation and also modesty. And understanding, you know what, don't rub it in the face of other people. Don't look, the lesson could be don't look down on others who are not as blessed. Don't look down on others. And that's a real lesson. But the thing is, you have to learn that lesson. It's no ifs, ands, or buts. And that's all of us, every single one of us. There are no exceptions. You want to become a better person than you were the day before. Always, always, always growing. As yet another minister told me, and this is an elder, great man in his 70s, and he will tell people, I'm still a work in progress. So regardless of what your station is in life, whatever you think your status is, how attractive you think you are, no matter what you think you can get on an IQ score, on an IQ test rather, how much money you're making, there's always something that you can learn. Never be arrogant to think there isn't a lesson in every single thing. Your losses definitely, but even in your victories. Learn. You want to grow to become your best person. You want to keep rising and transforming. All right. So I want y'all to think about that. What I shared, what I was moved to share, and keep rising. Peace and blessings, everyone.